or welcome to the Effekt. Andrew Fullen.
Thank you, and thank you so much for coming over to talk to us today.
This is the first English episode of the Effekt, and being in London, we are very interested in how the UK progress are in terms of digital transformation. So what's your opinion, Andrew?
I think it's a very interesting time. We've been doing a lot of digital transformation in the UK, and I think we were one of the early adopters, certainly in Europe. There's been big steps made forward in unifying transportation. We have something like an Oyster Card. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see this, but I'm holding up a first generation Oyster Card, which allows me to travel anywhere within the Greater London area by just simply tapping in at a barrier. I can use it to pay for small purchases at shops, and now it's going to the next generation, which is your phone being able to tap in and do the purchases, whether your credit card, your bank card, being able to use that, and it automatically tops up. It's a very simple way of being able to control the traffic, control the spending. Children can have them. You can stick it to your phone case, and we found it to be very useful. I keep a guest one at home for when people come and visit me, so I can give them one of those so they can get cheap travel in London. And it's typically about a third of the price of actually buying the tickets. The buses no longer take cash, and haven't for the last few years in the Greater London area. And as that serves about 8-9 million people, we need a solution that is very reliable and very much up to date. And Oyster was the first one in the world to actually do this. It takes less time to go through the ticket barriers. The ticket inspectors can check much more quickly, and you have the instant ability to get refunds if there's a delay or a cancellation. So from a consumer point of view, it's great. I don't have to worry about buying a season ticket. I don't have to worry about topping it all up. It can all be taken care of for me. If there's an issue, I can go to the website, log in, and deal with that issue within 30 seconds.
Well, the example about the Oyster Card is just about payments. What about other payments? Are we moving to pay by mobile, the mobile phone, or is it still cards we are talking about? Or are we moving from...
We're moving. It's very strange because there are phases and almost fads in what's being paid and what isn't being paid. But I was talking to a shopkeeper. We had coffee from there earlier this morning, and he's running out of cash. When somebody comes in with cash now, it becomes a problem for him to provide change because the banks no longer want to deal with small amounts of currency. They want everything to be plastic. And it challenges some of the small businesses to be able to do that. I often have to take taxis, and even though some of them will have the ability to take cards, you need still cash for most of those transactions. And now about once a month or once every 2 months, I have to go to the bank to get small denominations of cash so I can travel outside of the Oyster area.
So that's payment and cash, and we are moving from plastic, or we are moving to plastic, or maybe next step is mobile. So what about the government concerning health, for example? Have we one connection to the government in health, one password and so forth?
We haven't quite gone down the one password route because traditionally the UK population doesn't trust their government very far. And I think most citizens do not trust their governments very far, especially with very key information like health. They think that's quite private. It's a discussion between them and their doctor, their nurse. Now what we do have is, however, the health system is completely integrated so that you go into a general practitioner, a general doctor's office. You just go up and you type a few things on the screen, your information is confirmed. I had an accident a few years ago. I had to go to a hospital nowhere near where I lived. With 4 pieces of information, they were able to pull up my medical records so they could check for any allergies or anything like that while I was being treated. But it wasn't information that was being shared outside of the health space. It's deliberately protected.
You don't trust the government, but do you trust safety?
I used to be a cybersecurity person, so my general background is I trust nobody with anything electronic. The thing with the health information, though, is at a certain point, you may need that information anywhere in the country, and you may not be in a position to enter a password. I certainly wasn't. I'd had an accident with an axe and wasn't able to use my thumb. It was hanging off. So typing a password in wouldn't have worked. But I was able to give key information. They were able to bring it up. I was able to confirm that that was me, and it was fairly obvious it was me as well. And then they had all of that information. It was updated with my treatment and immediately sent back to my doctor where he was based, so that I didn't have to carry a letter. I didn't have to rely on, well, you've been carried back to the car, you've got stitches, you've had morphine, you're not really in a position to have these discussions. So the information got there immediately.
Okay.
And my old doctor retired, new doctor came on board, and it was a seamless transition for that information to move over. But the real core of that information is held only with your general practitioner, and then only limited sets of it can be shared beyond that. And I'm quite comfortable with that. The safeguards are good safeguards. I don't want insurance companies to have access to that information. I don't want marketing companies to have access to that information. I do not want to be a product.
As a Swede, we trust the government, and we can give everything to the government, almost.
I don't trust the government.
You don't trust the government?
As a matter of policy.
Okay.
I think that would be, if I asked almost everybody, would you trust the government with this information? The attitude in the UK would be no.
Okay.
We are not, unfortunately, as enlightened in our regimes as you Swedes are. But so, if you'd like to take us over, we'd be very happy with that.
But digital transformation, for me, is to open up, have third-party services, data integration to the government's data.
Yeah.
So it's a big no-no, or is it harder here?
It's harder here. There is a streak of what is called bloody-mindedness in the population. If you offer them something like this, and the government is the one doing the offering, the answer is normally no, instinctively. What we've just done is open bank accounts, which means that all of your information is shared by a central banking service, so that you can use lots of microservices and APIs and effectively fragment your finances across 100 different companies and move almost automatically. Lot of noise made about it, a lot of money being invested in it. And I don't know anyone who's taken advantage of it since it was launched nearly a year ago. There's one or two early adopters, but I don't know anyone who's outside of that industry who's actually taken advantage of it.
Why?
I have my money in a bank account. Do I care that £20 is in this bank account and now you've moved £50 to another bank account and £100 to somewhere else? I just want to know I've got £200 that I can spend. I don't want it fragmented. You know, it's sort of, I want it within a container that I can understand. And traditionally, with a few exceptions, the banks have been quite reliable for looking after our money. Even when there have been big problems, the banks and the monies have been fairly safe. And that is one thing that I think that has been trusted, despite scandals, despite recessions, that there is trust in the money.
What I think we are talking about is how do we make UK people, in general, happy concerning digital transformation? Or is happy equals easy? Or
it's a good question. There was a study just done recently that the best way to stop people smoking wasn't health advice. It wasn't telling them what was going to happen to them. It wasn't showing them the benefits of a healthy lifestyle. It was giving them money. So maybe the thing that would actually get people to trust it would be €2,000 being given to each person. This is the money that we're giving to you as a show of our trust in you. You have that money, that's there in case we do something wrong, and you can have that money and keep it.
So do you mean that if I give you the money, you will give all your information away?
I would give it to the government.
Okay.
I wouldn't give it to, say, Facebook.
No.
But Facebook makes a lot of money on our information. And the benefit I get from that is somebody able to do an occasional like to a dead hamster. I don't think it's a fair exchange. Amazon tried to do something like the Mechanical Turk as a way of doing microtransactions for small tasks. maybe there should be a certain amount of sharing, that if somebody is selling my information, I get a cut of that. Half of the money that they get for that comes to me. Maybe that would knock the barriers down.
If you will be a part of changing the world or saving the world, if I give you 2,000, will that bring you closer to the digital transformation?
I think it would do. Just give me some money. Everyone else is making money on my information, and I think it's an inequitable transaction that's been happening in the digital transformation and the digitalization, because everyone else is making money on my information and making it seem like I don't own me, because my health history defines who I am, my personal relationships, my interests, they all define who I am, and yet somebody's making money on that. And if they want me to be more comfortable, more happy with it, or at least accepting of it, I should get some benefit from that, as opposed to targeted adverts that follow me around a shopping centre saying, well, last time you were here, you bought some shoes, time to buy some new shoes.
Don't like that.
I don't like that. I find it intrusive. If, however, it's you've listened to this advert, here's 1 cent, 20 cents credited to your account, then maybe that's not so bad. You know, other people are making money on the advertising. It should be shared. It should be equitable.
So, in the beginning, you gave us an example of the Oyster Card.
Yes.
For me, it's more like a physical thing. I'm just referring to the answers that you had on the other questions. It's a physical thing that you put in front of something.
It is.
It's not the digital something that you have in a mobile phone.
Or your mobile phone will connect to it, so you can use your mobile phones.
You can, okay.
You can use credit, debit cards. You can use one of the Oyster cards. We even have one gentleman at the local station who's taken out the chip and put it into a magician's wand, and he pretends to be Harry Potter every time he goes up to the barriers to tap it in with his magic wand. And he enjoys the fame of that. He's somebody who has actually been made happy by that. And to be honest, when you see him, there is a little smile in your face. It's somebody has embraced the new technology, but they're having fun with it as well. And that fun is contagious.
Is there more examples of this kind of digital transformation? We're talking about newspapers for newspaper moving to more digital.
Yeah.
If I work here in London, I still got these newspaper guys that will give me the free newspaper. We don't have that anymore in Sweden. But are we moving somewhere in the media? Are we closing down radio stations? Are we closing down newspapers?
Local newspapers are dying,
Okay.
Are shutting down all over the country because there's not enough advertising or subscription money to keep them going. So they're becoming larger, regional rather than local, and there's less of them and less local information. I'm from the north of the country and have come down to London, and it's very hard for me in the media down here to find out anything about where I come from. For example, the football team that I followed as a child just got relegated. I wouldn't have known that from the national newspapers or the national websites. Only by going and looking at a local website was I able to find out what had happened to them. And they had a really bad season. They came bottom and hardly won anything. So it becomes more difficult to find that local interaction. It breaks down some of the communities. And I have to say, I don't think I've actually picked up a newspaper in about 3 or 4 years. It's too little, too late in the information. The newspaper comes out, it has to be printed, it has to be distributed. I pick up my phone and I have the information then or there. Or my watch, if I hadn't left it at home today, will tell me any important alerts that I need to be aware of.
Do we have paywalls on the newspaper websites?
We do on some of them, yes. But I use a news aggregator where people post the content and I can then see if I would be interested in going through there. But I would pay, and there is one site I do pay for the information, but they don't serve me adverts. These other ones want me to pay and want me to watch adverts. especially autoplay videos.
Okay. So that's the thing they are trying to hear. So moving UK forward concerning digital transformation, what does the future, in your opinion, holds for UK's digital transformation?
It's a very good question, and if I could guarantee I had the right answer, I think I would make a lot of money. I think we're going to see a lot more private enterprise in the actual digital space in the UK. The City of London has invested massively in APIs, microservices, and being at the forefront of digital money, digital services. I don't think the future is Bitcoin, for example, for them, but the technology behind it, that's starting to change. And one of the things we're seeing is smart contracts coming into the government. Now, that's one area where I think the government can make a big difference and would trust them in. If you buy a house or a property anywhere in the UK, it goes to something called the Land Registry, and the process can take a month, 2 months to confirm that this land belongs to somebody and that there's no preconditions that would be passed on to you. It slows down and is a very stressful part of buying somewhere to live. Now, I know from dealing with Norway, the process from start to finish is about 7 days. And I think something like the smart contracts, where those records are publicly available and easy to access and trusted because the information is widely distributed and checked, will be a great benefit. And I think we'll see more of that information. We'll see things like insurance policies. When earlier this year we went out to Ireland and we did through Sogeti an incubator with an insurance company. One of the things we looked at there was smart insurance claims. And that was very interesting because you could see the immediate benefit. You could see that the paperwork time was reduced, that within hours of having contacted the insurance company, authorization to repair your car had been sent to the nearest garage and they were expecting you, and you knew they were going to fix it in a particular period of time. Those sort of things, I think, are really positive contributions in digitization. But I also think there's going to be a bit of a backlash. And from the offices where we are in London, there are probably about 200 artisan coffee shops. There are the big chains, but there are 200 very small, very specialised, roast their own coffees. They charge more, but people are willing to go that extra distance to them because of the taste, but also the human interaction. Because some of the digitalisation, on my train home and on the morning, you don't hear people talk anymore. No. There's no conversations. They are listening to podcasts, and this is a good podcast to listen to, so don't stop listening to this one. But they're in their own little world. They have the screen in front of them, they have their earphones in, and the rest of the world passes them by. And I think we lose something with that. I think we lose a little bit of our humanity. And I think people are willing to pay a little bit of a premium for a better product, which is handcrafted, and also the human interaction. The coffee shops that I go to tend to be the ones that have the most pleasant user experience, the ones where there is the human interaction, where they remember you, they know what you want to drink. Would you like your usual? Yes, please. How are you today? I'm good. Did you get home okay last night? Yes, I did. You? Those little things matter, sometimes a little bit more than the convenience, because we are social creatures. We like that interaction. And that's going to be very hard to digitalise. And with the digitalisation, the other thing that we've been doing is we're still trapped in an 8-bit world. Everything is very, very simple decisions. Yes, no, black, white, hot, cold. And being human is a lot more than that. Digitization is great, but what it doesn't handle is answering a question like, how are you? You can answer it, I'm good, not so good. And it depends on your age, who's answering the question, who's asking the question, time of day, and that the answer today is not going to be the answer tomorrow or in 6 weeks. And our computer systems aren't very good at doing that. And you can see part of the backlash with vinyl records coming back. The audio quality is superb because there is no stepping, there is no loss. Even with the best of digital, you still don't get that pure, ringing concert hall sound of great music. That's it. And one thing I discovered I was missing, and about a week ago I listened to an album from start to finish in the order that it was written for the first time in several years. And it was all the better for that,
Yes.
I will have to confess that it was ABBA. But there was news about ABBA
Yes,
releasing
the
some
new
new
one.
music, and I thought, you know, I've not listened to them in years, and I put on one of their albums, Voulez-Vous, and listened to it, but in the order that they'd selected, and it was more than just the parts.
I think that we have been talking about the digital transformation, we are talking about the business transformation, and we're also talking about the human transformation. It's been a very interesting discussion about the UK's take on this.
Well, it's my take, really, on it.
Your take as a representative of the UK people.
One of 70 million.
So Andrew, is there something else here that we have been missing concerning UK and digital transformation?
Almost certainly, there's probably many things that we've been missing. I mean, for me, it's happiness, I think. If we don't have happiness in the digital transformation, whatever that happiness is defined, it will be different for every person. And sometimes it might just be the absence of unhappiness. The philosophers can argue for centuries as to what is happiness. But we know when we're happy. And if something makes our world a little bit better by doing it, then that's a good thing. If there is no gain from the digitalization, or it makes our lives a little bit more complex or a little bit more stressful, then we shouldn't do it. If there's a distinct benefit for us and for those around us, and the world is a little bit of a better place, then I think digitalization is a good thing and people will adopt it. The moment there is a horror story or it causes us discomfort, then we probably won't.
Thank you again, Andrew.
Thank you so much for coming over and talking to me, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your trip, and I look forward to listening not only to this but the rest of the English language episodes that you'll push out.